The film begins at the Acropolis Museum in Athens, Greece. Two goddesses, Hespera and Calypso, also known as the daughters of Atlas the Titan, break into the Acropolis Museum to steal the broken staff of the wizard. They break open the container where the staff pieces are kept, taking one half at a time and absorbing its powers. When the guard comes to stop them, Calypso whispers in his ear. After that, all humans go insane and Hespera turns all humans to stone. Here, they learns that the staff is useless if not combined. Only those who have got power from it can rejoin the staff. The goddesses then declare that it is now fitting for them to pursue the champions of the realms. Meanwhile, Billy Batson goes to the office of his pediatrician in his Shazam form. He tells him about his superhero problems, but the doctor says that I am a pediatrician, not a psychiatrist. He and his superhero family have not been considered as super in the eyes of their city, as they have been labeled the Philadelphia Fiascos. A while later, Billy returns home to his siblings. At home, Billy and Freddy overhear news about troubles in town, and while Freddy wants just the two of them to take care of things, Billy urges his siblings to join them and take on their own forms. The siblings continue to keep their superhero identities a secret from Victor and Rosa. The Benjamin Franklin Bridge begins to fall apart. People panic and abandon their cars before the Shazam family arrives and takes the people to safety. They manage to save everyone, but despite their exploits, they are unable to prevent the bridge from collapsing completely, and they are still called the Philly Fiascos. Shazam gathers the siblings in their hideout at the Rock of Eternity, but each has their own responsibilities to fulfill. In the realm of the gods, the wizard is imprisoned in a cell, having seemingly died after transferring his powers to Billy. He is met by Hespera and Calypso, who force him to fix the staff, but he refused. Then Calypso whispers in his ear to say the word. He has to do it involuntarily, but when he tries to grab the staff, a piece of it gets stuck in his nail. At high school, Freddy meets a new girl, Anne. He has an instant crush on her and she seems interested in him, but the moment is ruined by dim-witted bully brothers Brett and Burke Breyer. Despite this, Anne has Freddy accompany her to class and realizes that he has a crush. Billy has a dream that he is Shazam on a date with Wonder Woman before the wizard makes their appearance, making Billy scary so he can warn Billy about the daughters of Atlas and their plans. Billy later leaves to warn his siblings of the potential threat. At the Rock of Eternity, the siblings learn that the daughters of Atlas guard the Tree of Life, which produces golden apples containing the seeds of life, and that a mythical dragon is also at their disposal. Pedro shows them a secret room full of archives and books about various magical artifacts, along with a sentient quill pen named Steve to guide them to the books they need to find about the daughters. They discover that it was Billy's fault that the barrier between worlds was broken because he was the one who broke the wand when they fought Dr. Savannah fought. The siblings also learn about Hespera, Calypso, and a third sister, Anthea. Billy knows Freddy is in trouble. Freddy meets Anthea on the school roof where he wants to show her his superhero self. Hespera and Calypso appear and Calypso uses the staff to depower Freddy. His teacher arrives to intervene, but Calypso uses her power to make the teacher fall to her death from the roof. Before they can harm Freddy, Anthea uses her power to manipulate the environment. The Shazam siblings then arrive to try to fight, but Freddy tries to hold them back or they will be disempowered as well. With Freddy hostage, the sisters create a platform that floats high into the sky until Hespera forms a giant dome around the city, enclosing everything and everyone within. Shazam can only watch as Freddy is kidnapped. Freddy is locked away with the wizard, who officially meets him and finds out about his relationship with Billy. As Freddy tries to think of an escape plan, the wizard tells him that anything he can think of would be useless against the daughters. Freddy's siblings then use Steve to write a letter to the daughters to try to argue with them for Freddy's safe release. Calypso instead tortures Freddy with her powers, trapping him and the wizard in a pit with her dragon, Layden the World Ender. Layden's powers result in Freddy and the wizard being unable to run, but Anthea uses her powers to free them before Layden can kill her. Shazam arranges a meeting with Hespera to try to get Freddy back and get rid of the dome. She arrives and expresses her anger at teenagers taking on the powers of the gods when she deems them unworthy. When the rest of the siblings show up, Calypso gets the drop on them and uses the staff to depower Pedro. Shazam fights Hespera underground, where she tries to wrap Mary and Darla in wires, and Hespera tries to attack Shazam with a large ball of fused material, but he uses his super speed to throw her in the path of her own projectile and knock them out and allow the siblings to bring them back to the Rock of Eternity. The siblings lock Hespera in and try to discuss what to do next, but not long after, Darla discovers that Hespera has escaped. They realize that she always intended to be captured. She goes through their library and picks up what Billy thought was a paperweight when it was actually a golden apple covered in black dust. The siblings follow her as she brings the apple to Calypso and Anthea. Meanwhile, Freddy and the wizard attempt to acquire the apple themselves since Calypso suggests planting the seed of life on Earth and unleashing their army of monsters. Freddy almost manages to get away with the apple but draws the sisters' attention. Shazam makes his way in and grabs the staff, but Calypso takes it back. The wizard returns Freddy his powers as they escape. Calypso, despite Hespera's orders, tries to use the staff against her, but Calypso believes her sisters have gone soft. She then tells Layden to rise up and go after the champions. The heroes run to Victor and Rosa to take them to safety, but they must establish their superhero identity. Pedro also takes the opportunity to come out as gay to the family, but they all already knew and support him. Layden then starts munching through the house, forcing everyone to run into town. Calypso chases after them while riding Layden, and she depowers everyone but Billy before grabbing the apple. She takes it to Lincoln Financial Field and places the apple in the ground, causing the Tree of Life to sprout and giving birth to horrific monsters that start attacking and killing innocent civilians. Anthea tries to search for her sisters herself after meeting the Shazam family, and while Freddy goes after her, she kisses him so he stays behind and doesn't get hurt. Billy decides it's up to him and him alone to save the day. He has a brief conversation with Rosa in his normal teenage form, as he believes he will be kicked out of the foster system due to aging, but she tells him he will always have a home with them. The wizard tells the siblings that there is a force that can fight the monsters and that is the unicorns. However, he tells them that they are not like the pretty ponies in stories, but rather violent creatures who hate humans. After learning what can soothe unicorns, they learn that one of them is Ambrosia, and Darla has an idea. They find the unicorns and she feeds them Skittles, which the unicorn appreciates and has his fellow unicorns come for the siblings to mount and rush into town to fight the monsters. Anthea tries to get through to her sisters as the Tree of Life doesn't belong on the face of the earth. When it appears that Hespera has come by and is going to move against Calypso, she uses Layden to impale Hespera and then uses the staff to disempower Anthea. Shazam finds Hespera's body and manages to revive her so she can help stop Calypso by trapping her in the dome. He then finds Calypso and Layden nearly killing Freddy and Anthea and manages to take the staff away from her so she can chase after him. He lures Calypso onto the field and Hespera manages to shrink the dome down to the size of the stadium, infuriating Calypso. Billy's family watches from outside the dome as he confronts the enraged goddess and her dragon. He uses the staff to charge up and smack Layden's face, and the dragon fire burns his suit to a crisp. Shazam then charges himself with the staff and summons a powerful bolt of lightning that shatters the dome and annihilates both Calypso and Layden to ash. Hespera quietly acknowledges Billy as a hero and a god before she too dies forever. The family runs to the field to find Billy, and Freddy finds his lifeless body among the remains of the tree. Despite her efforts to wake him up, Billy is really dead. The wizard takes the family and Anthea to the realm of the gods to give Billy a decent burial. The wizard explains that since Anthea is losing her powers and her sisters are dead, there are no gods left to revive Billy, until a voice calls out, "There is one." The family turns and finds none other than Wonder Woman. She received an earlier message from Billy, and she uses her goddess powers to power the staff over Billy's grave to revive him, restoring powers to Anthea and the siblings in return. Shazam then rises from his grave and hugs his family. He then tries to get his shot with Wonder Woman, but she tells him to hold on to save the world. The family returns home after the repair and they have also taken in Anthea as she and Freddy are now an official couple. They are visited by the wizard, who now chooses to live life as a civilian on Earth rather than wither away in another realm. He is grateful to the family for helping him and they also see him as a friend. Billy then asks the wizard what his own superhero's name is, and he tells him that it was always Shazam. So, that's the end of our movie. If you've come this far, make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe my channel. See you later.